What if I told you that somewhere on this planet there's an octopus the size of a golf ball that carries enough venom to kill 26 adults? Or a jellyfish so small it's invisible, yet so powerful it can make you feel like you're dying even when you're not? What if I told you these creatures don't live in some unreachable abyss? They live in crystal clear, knee-deep water, the same water where families build sandcastles and tourists take selfies. This is Australia's northern coastline. Turquoise water, white sand beaches, coral reefs so vibrant they look photoshopped. It's one of the most stunning stretches of ocean on Earth. It's also the deadliest. Marine biologists have a name for this region. They call it the most dangerous square mile of ocean on the planet. Not because of sharks, not because of crocodiles, because of creatures so small, so beautiful, and so impossibly venomous that they've puzzled scientists for decades. Here's what makes this fascinating. These aren't monsters hiding in the deep. They're tiny. Some are mesmerizing. A few are so well camouflaged you could be looking right at them and never know. In the next few minutes, we're going to meet an octopus that flashes electric blue when it's angry, a jellyfish with 24 eyes that actively hunts its prey, a snail, yes, a snail that fires venomous harpoons, and a fish so perfectly disguised as a rock that even marine biologists have accidentally stepped on them. These creatures are terrifying, but they're also extraordinary, products of millions of years of evolution, living proof that nature's most dangerous creations are often its most beautiful. Millions of tourists swim in these waters every year. Most never encounter any of these creatures, but for those who do, let's just say it's an experience they'll never forget. Let's dive in. The ocean has a cruel sense of irony. Its deadliest creature is also one of its most beautiful, the blue-ringed octopus. It's small, barely the size of a golf ball when fully grown. You could hold one in the palm of your hand, though that would be the last thing you ever held. When relaxed, this octopus looks almost boring, yellowish-brown, mottled, easily mistaken for a piece of debris. But when threatened, 50 to 60 iridescent blue rings suddenly blaze across its body like neon warning lights, pulsing, glowing, nature's way of screaming, "Stay away!" The blue-ringed octopus carries tetrodotoxin. It's the same poison found in pufferfish, but concentrated into a creature that weighs less than an ounce. Let me put this in perspective. One blue-ringed octopus carries enough venom to kill 26 adult humans within minutes, and there is no antidote. The bite itself is almost painless. Victims often don't realize they've been bitten until it's too late. A small pinch, maybe a tiny drop of blood. Nothing to worry about, they think. Then the numbness starts. First the lips, then the tongue. Within minutes, the paralysis spreads through the entire body. The muscles stop responding. Breathing becomes impossible. But here's the truly horrifying part. The brain stays completely alert. The victim is fully conscious, fully aware, trapped inside a body that no longer obeys commands, unable to breathe, unable to call for help, unable to blink, just watching, waiting, hoping someone notices in time. If they're lucky, someone performs CPR until the toxin metabolizes, which can take 12 to 24 hours. The venom doesn't damage organs, it simply paralyzes them. So if you can keep the lungs working artificially, the victim can survive. But out on a remote beach, in the water, with no one around who knows what just happened, you have roughly 6 minutes before brain death begins. The blue-ringed octopus has killed at least 3 people in documented cases. Scientists believe the real number is much higher, deaths in remote areas that were never properly identified. One famous case involved a soldier in Australia who picked up a beautiful little octopus to show his friends. He was dead before the ambulance arrived. These octopuses live in tide pools, in shallow coral, in the crevices of rocky shorelines, the exact places tourists love to explore, and they're not rare. There are over 300,000 of them along the Australian coast. But here's what makes this truly terrifying. The blue-ringed octopus is only the 5th most dangerous creature in these waters.
If you were to design the perfect killing machine, invisible, numerous, and capable of stopping a human heart in under 5 minutes, you'd design the box jellyfish. Chironex fleckeri. Scientists don't call it the most venomous marine animal. They call it the most venomous animal, period, land or sea. And unlike the blue-ringed octopus, this one doesn't hide, it hunts. Picture a creature the size of a basketball with up to 60 tentacles trailing behind it. Each tentacle can extend 3 meters long. That's almost 10 feet of death drifting through the water. Each tentacle is lined with roughly 5,000 stinging cells called cnidocytes. When they contact skin, they don't just sting, they explode. Microscopic harpoons fire into your flesh faster than a bullet leaves a gun, injecting a venom cocktail designed by evolution to cause immediate, catastrophic failure. The venom attacks 3 systems simultaneously: your heart, your nervous system, and your skin cells themselves. Victims have described the pain as being burned alive, except burning alive would be slower. The tentacles leave marks that look like whip scars, white lines that eventually turn purple and black as the tissue dies. In severe cases, the pain is so extreme that victims go into shock and drown before the venom finishes its work. In Australia, box jellyfish have killed at least 64 people since records began in 1883. The real number is almost certainly higher. Many victims never make it to a hospital to be counted. And here's what haunts marine biologists. These jellyfish have 24 eyes. 24, arranged in clusters of 6 on each of their 4 sides. Some of these eyes have lenses and retinas. They can see. They can track movement. They actively swim towards prey. This isn't some mindless drifter. The box jellyfish hunts with purpose. There is an antivenom for box jellyfish, but it needs to be administered within minutes. For many victims, minutes is all they had.
But Chironex fleckeri, as terrifying as it is, can at least be seen if you're looking carefully. Its tentacles leave obvious marks. There's an antivenom. Victims know they've been stung. The Irukandji jellyfish offers none of those mercies. Imagine a creature the size of your thumbnail, 1 cubic centimeter, smaller than a grape, completely transparent, invisible in the water even when you're looking directly at it. The Irukandji is so small that it passes through the nets designed to stop its larger cousin. Its sting is almost imperceptible, a slight prickle. Many victims never feel it at all. They simply swim on, enjoying their day in paradise. Then, 20 to 40 minutes later, Irukandji syndrome begins. It starts with a headache, then nausea, then the pain arrives, severe cramping pain that spreads across the back, abdomen, and limbs. Blood pressure spikes to dangerous levels, the heart races, fluid floods the lungs. But the symptom that defines Irukandji syndrome, the one that terrifies doctors who've treated it, is psychological. A profound, overwhelming sense of impending doom. Not fear, not anxiety, something far worse, an absolute, bone-deep certainty that you are about to die. Patients don't suspect they're dying, they know it with complete conviction. This isn't panic, it's a neurological effect of the venom itself, a chemical hijacking of the brain's survival circuits. Victims have begged doctors to let them die, not because the physical pain was unbearable, but because the psychological terror was worse than anything they could imagine enduring. Some researchers believe this doom response evolved as a defense mechanism, ensuring that any creature that survives a sting will never come near an Irukandji again. Between 50 and 100 people are hospitalized by Irukandji stings in Australia every year. At least 2 deaths have been directly attributed to them, though the true number may be higher because the sting is so hard to detect. And here's what should keep swimmers awake at night. Scientists believe there may be over 25 species of Irukandji jellyfish. Most haven't been studied. We don't know their ranges. We don't know their potency.
At least jellyfish drift. They move. There's a chance, however small, of avoiding them. The stonefish doesn't move at all. It waits. Sinansia, the most venomous fish on Earth, and it looks exactly like a rock. Not similar to a rock, not rock-like, identical. The stonefish has evolved camouflage so perfect that marine biologists have accidentally stepped on them while studying them. Its body is covered with wart-like bumps. Algae grows on its skin. It lies motionless on the sea floor for days, sometimes weeks, waiting for small fish to swim close enough to ambush. It doesn't need to chase prey. Prey comes to it. And if you happen to step on one while wading in shallow water, 13 spines along its dorsal ridge inject venom directly into your foot. The spines are strong enough to pierce a standard beach shoe. Survivors have described the pain as indescribable. Hot iron being driven through the bone, electrocution that never stops, pain so intense that people have demanded amputation of the affected limb rather than endure another minute. The venom is a protein-based neurotoxin that causes immediate tissue destruction around the puncture site. Without treatment, it can cause muscle paralysis, cardiac arrhythmia, and in extreme cases, heart failure. There is an antivenom. Hot water can help denature the protein and reduce pain, but the initial agony is so severe that many victims go into shock before they can apply any treatment. Stonefish are found throughout the Indo-Pacific, from Australia to the Red Sea. They live in exactly the places humans like to wade: shallow coral reefs, rocky tidal pools, and sandy bottoms near shore. They can survive out of water for up to 24 hours. That rock you see lying on the beach as the tide goes out, the one half buried in sand? Step carefully. Now we come to something that seems impossible. A creature so slow, so seemingly harmless, that the idea of it killing a human sounds like a joke. The cone snail. Look at it. A beautiful shell, 5 to 15 centimeters long, with intricate geometric patterns. The kind of thing you'd pick up as a souvenir. The kind of thing shell collectors have paid small fortunes to own. Cone snails are gastropods, relatives of garden slugs. They move at a pace that makes glaciers look hasty. But evolution gave them a weapon that compensates for their speed: a harpoon. Hidden inside the snail's proboscis is a modified tooth called a radula. When prey comes close, or when a curious human picks up the shell, the cone snail fires this tooth like a hypodermic needle. The strike takes milliseconds. The tooth injects conotoxin, a venom cocktail containing over 100 different compounds. Some paralyze muscles, some disrupt nerve signals, some cause blood vessels to collapse. The combination is so complex that scientists have spent decades studying it and have only begun to understand how it works. The geographus cone snail, Comis geographus, is the most dangerous of the roughly 500 species. Its nickname, the cigarette snail, because if you're stung, you have just enough time to smoke one cigarette before you die. That's not entirely accurate. Death can take hours, but the message is clear. This creature kills. It has killed at least 30 people in documented cases, and unlike most venomous animals, there is no antivenom. Treatment consists entirely of keeping the victim alive until the toxin metabolizes. If the respiratory system fails, you need artificial ventilation. If the heart stops, you need CPR. The irony is that conotoxins are now being used to develop revolutionary painkillers. A synthetic version of one compound is already on the market, a painkiller 1,000 times more potent than morphine without the addiction risk. The same venom that kills has the potential to save thousands of lives. But that's little comfort to the diver who picks up a beautiful shell and feels a tiny pinprick on his palm.
Every creature we have talked about lives in the same crystal clear, shallow waters, and none of them evolved to hunt humans. The blue-ringed octopus only bites when handled. The stonefish only stings when stepped on. The cone snail strikes only when picked up. Even the box jellyfish and its tiny cousin, the Irukandji, are just hunting shrimp. We're not their prey. We're accidents, collisions between curious tourists and creatures that simply want to be left alone.